After Marvel's newest film, Ant-Man Quantumania, received a very tepid response at best, there are many questions about the MCU's drop in quality, and a new big bad set to replace Thanos. I'm of course talking about Kang, aka Nathaniel Richards, played by Jonathan Major. You don't have to look far on YouTube to see the thousands of videos with people saying that the MCU has lost its magic, that Kang is a poor villain, and Marvel will never reach the levels of Infinity War again. Unavoidable comparisons are being made between Kang and the previous overarching villain in the MCU, Thanos. Now Thanos is a fantastic villain, and I in no way mean to denigrate his position as the MCU's best villain to date. What I mean to do is to attempt to explain how Kang can be a better villain than Thanos. In fact, I originally planned to make the opposite video, why Thanos is better than Kang. But on reflecting and researching, I have been tempted to the perhaps unpopular view that Kang could be better than Thanos, and overtake the Mad Titan as the MCU's best villain. The purpose of this video is to present how Kang can be more intimidating, more nerve-wracking, more nuanced, and more enjoyable to watch than Thanos was. Now the main criticism I hear, which I want to address right off the bat, when comparing the two villains, is that Thanos was introduced better. Thanos was built up over many films, with characters implying his immense power.
When Thanos took my home world, he killed my parents in front of me.
And post-credit scenes teasing his upcoming arrival.
I'll do it myself.
Then in his major theatrical introduction in Infinity War, he kills Loki and Heimdall, defeats the Incredible Hulk, and forces Thor to watch, all within the first 15 minutes. Then he goes on to defeat all the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, and wipes out half the universe. Then in Endgame, only time travel stops Thanos, and even then, in the rematch, he nearly won against everyone Doctor Strange brought in through his many portals. Ultimately, Tony Stark had to sacrifice his life to kill Thanos. So admittedly, the new big bad Kang has quite the uphill battle to best or even equal such a strong villain. And then what happens in Kang's first entrance into the MCU? He dies. I mean look, Kang has already died twice in two different mediums. Once on TV in the Loki series, and once in his theatrical debut in Quantumania. And does he die due to a massive team up of the strongest Avengers?
Strongest Avenger.
Access denied.
No. He dies fighting Ant-Man. Or does he? Here are the 5 reasons I believe Kang can be a better villain than Thanos. Exhibit 1. Kang the Conqueror isn't actually dead. Now in the ending of Quantumania, Ant-Man and the Wasp push Kang the Conqueror into his quantum energy core, which Ant-Man throws resizing pin particles into. The core seemingly explodes, and Kang the Conqueror is no more. But the important question is, did we see him die? I argue that no, we did not. We saw him shrink into the resizing power core, and as we now know from Quantumania, there are many examples of characters who not only survive subatomic shrinking, but become more powerful because of it. Darren Cross, for example, who was presumed dead from Ant-Man 1. He didn't in fact die, he was just shrunk into the quantum realm and became the handsome MODOK. So he was not killed by going subatomic. It's also the case for Janet Van Dyne, who went subatomic, and she also ended up in the quantum realm. Similar to these two, I believe that Kang was shrunk, but not killed by Ant-Man and the Wasp. To add to the evidence for this, in the final sequence of Quantumania, Scott Lang can't quite shake the feeling that Kang is not dead. And in a post-credit scene, the variants of Kang question whether Kang is really dead. Kang is a time-travelling multiverse villain whose ship is powered by a multiverse power core. Mix the two together in a shrinking pin particle explosion, and I think you get a now more powerful time-travelling Kang the Conqueror, who will enact his revenge on Scott Lang and co. Now imagine this. Kang the Conqueror, who lost a fight with Ant-Man in Quantumania, returns, and within the first 15 minutes he kills Ant-Man and maybe Wasp and Janet Van Dyne. Now Ant-Man is an incredibly likeable character, played by the immensely likeable Paul Rudd. Now his death would be quite a way for Kang the Conqueror to come back. Exhibit 2. It's early days. It's hard to remember now, but try to go back pre-Infinity War and remember the discourse around Thanos from his appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and various post-credit scenes. There were many criticisms for Thanos, ranging from the opinion that he was too foreshadowed, and questioned whether he would live up to the hype after being teased for so long. There was a CGI criticism saying that Thanos is changing colour from one post-credit scene to the next, and the reliance on CGI which could make or break the character. There were also comments that if he looks too cartoony, that would detract from the performance from Josh Brolin. Now, as we know, these worries were misplaced, and Thanos within 15 minutes of Infinity War established himself as a great villain. So when Kang takes centre stage in the upcoming Avenger film, Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, all the current criticisms could equally be wiped away, like they were with Thanos in Infinity War. It's simply too early in Kang's arc to judge the character. Exhibit 3. More. Over the next few years, there are a lot of MCU films and shows heading our way, and many of these will most likely feature Kang. We already know from the ending of Loki Season 1 and the end credit scene in Quantumania that Kang will play a major role in Loki Season 2. Perhaps he will also have a small post-credit role in Secret Wars. Then there's Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, Avengers: Secret War, Shang-Chi 2, and Battleworld: Secret Wars, the TV show. Kang should feature in varying degrees in all of these shows and films, which if done right will help to flesh out the character and create anticipation for whenever he's next on screen. We will have more time to learn about the character and his motivations and see him oppose the Avengers multiple times, potentially killing some characters off in one film or show and then doing the same in the next film or show. The anger and fear the Avengers had towards Thanos in Endgame, because they had history with him from Infinity War, made their interactions all the more developed and interesting. As Kang will have more screen time than Thanos, that gives him more time to antagonise the heroes and create personal stakes and moments between the characters. Exhibit 4. Jonathan Majors. Whatever you think about Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, and for the record I mixed and rated Quantumania at 73%, placing it below my rating for Ant-Man 2. Anyway, it is widely accepted that Jonathan Majors delivers a good, even brilliant performance as Kang. Just look at the comments on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. You will see comments such as Jonathan Majors' Kang is a thrilling villain, Jonathan Majors gives us an outstanding performance, Jonathan Majors elevated the material and was in his own realm altogether, and Jonathan Majors is great as Kang. Now those quotes are from the reviewers who gave Quantumania a rotten score, so under 60%, so certainly not Marvel fanboys. The quotes from those who actually liked Quantumania are even better, praising his presence, intensity, and somber, unsettling portrayal of Kang. There is no doubt that Majors is a really good actor and has the capability to make the character memorable. If given a good script, then there's no doubt that Majors will deliver a memorable performance as Kang. Exhibit 5. No CGI. Josh Brolin's performance as Thanos was fantastic, but you can't tell me that the 8'3" CGI purple figure of Thanos shows Brolin's acting talent in its best and purest form. The interactions between Thanos and the protagonists are slightly diluted in the visual effects used to create Thanos. After all, the best villains are, well, humans. Humans who can interact face to face with the heroes of the film. Look at the better heroes of the MCU. Hela from Ragnarok, Killmonger from Black Panther, Loki from Avengers Assemble, and Green Goblin from Spider-Man Homecoming. These characters all have one thing in common: they have little to no CGI. We can see their nuanced emotions and expressions so much clearer than CGI alternatives. They don't rely on CGI to make the character menacing. They are interesting villains because of the acting ability of the actors playing them. As Kang is human, he can talk face to face with the Avengers. Majors doesn't need motion capture polka dots surrounding his face, or a picture of Thanos stuck above his head like Josh Brolin had. Kang simply being a human should mean that the exchanges between him and the heroes are more emotionally powerful, with no distracting CGI or odd-angled shots needed to fit in a giant CGI monstrosity, like Steppenwolf from Justice League. Kang's exchanges should be all the more impactful, as there is no superfluous CGI to distract. So that is my argument. Kang can be a better villain than Thanos because of these 5 reasons. But do I really think he'll be a better villain? My gut says perhaps no, but that is primarily due to the multiverse aspect of the new MCU films, that I, like many, am not fully on board with, as it overcomplicates the story and reduces the overall stakes. I do, however, believe the criticisms of Kang and this stage of the MCU is being overblown. The MCU has always had good and bad films in every phase, and yes, the quality has reduced, especially with the Disney Plus shows for the MCU, but I believe Kang can be a really, really strong villain. Anyway, what is your opinion? Do you think that Kang will be a better villain than Thanos? Let me know in the comments below. Every week, I review the best films and TV shows around, as well as essay-type videos like this, so please consider subscribing to the channel. See you again.